Hello, welcome to Business Math Chapter 6 called Cash Purchases. This is lesson 6.2, Total Purchase Price. So in 6.1, we learned how to calculate the sales tax. And in this section, we're going to learn how to do the total purchase price. So we're going to take, the price of what we're purchasing and add the sales tax in after we've calculated it. As always, make sure you're reading through the chapter, look through the lesson, make sure you're reading through the examples, understand, the new vocabulary, the concepts they're asking you to understand so that you can apply it as we move forward here. And especially like when we get a little lower in the worksheets to the algebra type problems, that you understand what you're doing, not just these steps, but actually what you're doing in the problem. So again, read the sections before you jump over to the worksheet. All right, so let's go ahead and read this little summary here for section 2. So most stores give you a sales receipt as proof of purchase. The receipt shows the selling price of each item or service you purchased, the total selling price, the sales tax, if any, and the total purchase price. So sales tax, again, we went over this on how to calculate sales tax in section 1. So it's just the total selling price times the sales tax rate. And we might have to total the selling price in a lot of these. At first, they're probably going to give us totals, and then it looks like down here they're going to start asking us to calculate the total on our own. And then total purchase price would equal the total selling price. So, what are you buying? How much does it cost? Plus the sales tax rate that you just calculated. Okay. Not sales tax rate, sorry, sales tax. Said that funny. All right. A store in Grand Rapids, Michigan advertised a side-by-side refrigerator for $1,699.99. What is the sales tax if the combined state and city rate is 6%? So this is very similar to what we started out with in section 1. We're just going to take this amount here and we're going to multiply by our percentage there. And that's it. That will give us our sales tax. Okay, that's the first part here. The total purchase price is going to be this $1,699.99 plus what we got here. So we need to bring this guy, I'll do the arrow this way, bring it down and add them together. And that'll tell us our purchase price here. So not terribly complicated calculations here. Multiply by 6%. Remember, 6% means the decimal's here. We need to move it back twice. Or I can grab my calculator again real quick. Oh, looks like I closed it. Darn it. Boom. So we can go 6 and then percent. It'll move it for you on there. So just in case you weren't aware of that. So we just multiply those and then add that back to our purchase price. Okay, same exact idea here on number 2. So we're given a total purchase and we're given our tax rate. So we multiply and then add it back for our total purchase price. Okay, number 3, again, this is same exact idea as section 1. We're just being asked to total all the purchase here. So this person purchased hiking boots for $159.99. That's a flat, $159.99. There's no each there. Now we have 4 pairs of heavy socks at $8.49 each. So we need to make sure that when we add this together, we have 4 times $8.49, like this. So this is our hiking boots. Here are our socks. And then we're going to keep adding from there. So we have 3 shirts. Oops, didn't need to cross that off. For $43.95 each. And a tent for $325.79. So that's not each. That's just, we're only buying 1 anyway. So it is each, but we just bought 1. And in this case, we have 3 shirts for $43.95. And so that's the shirts. Again, the parentheses aren't necessary. I'm just showing you the kind of grouping there so that you can see we have the hiking boots, then the socks, and then the shirts. And then I'm going to go plus and move down here because I ran out of room. Oh, darn it. That's kind of ugly looking. Let's get rid of that thing. I don't know what I was writing there. $325.79. And I'm going to total that up. So that's the total selling price. We had to total that. And then for sales tax, well, they told us what the sales tax was. So we're just going to take this number we get and multiply by 6.25%. And that'll give us our sales tax rate. And then we're going to add these two guys together, our total purchase price and our sales tax, and that'll tell us what our total purchase price is. All right, so they really don't get much more complicated than that on this page. They just kind of keep going, that same idea. Just pay attention to, is it a flat fee, this is what I'm paying, or am I buying multiple items and this is how much they are each? So definitely pay attention to the wording there. Let's go ahead and go to the next page. Oh, darn it, did it not do? Oh, no, it didn't grab the second page here. Let me see. You know what? Let me make sure. Okay, so what I'm going to do, because for some reason it didn't grab the second page when I made this, and I didn't notice that. So the second page looks a lot like this one from lesson 6.1. They actually look almost identical. They have these sales receipts. So I'm talking about number 8, 9, and 10. We have a couple that look pretty much identical to this on section 6.1. So you just total up your items that you purchased. So you get each one in section 2. It's not foil and tissue and aspirin. It starts out with wireless router, turbo, tax, Quicken, cordless mouse. So they're buying some more tech type stuff. And then they even go to like a gaming keyboard and a joystick and all kinds of stuff like that. So you just total it all up, and that's your subtotal. Multiply by the sales tax rate they give you. In this case, it's 6%. On number 6 in section 6.2, it's 6.25%. So make sure you're multiplying by the correct number there. And then that'll give you your tax rate in this box. And you simply add these two together again to get your total. So same exact thing that you were doing on these other problems. They're just giving you two in a table. And honestly, in my opinion, the table looks a little easier because it's just, here's all my prices straight down. I don't have to look through the paragraph for my prices or the word each or anything like that. So like even here, it says paint, paint, paint. Okay, well, instead of saying he bought 3 paints at $18.90, it's saying paint $18.90, paint $18.90, paint $18.90. So repeated items are just repeated on there. So let me see. There is an algebra problem, and I'm just going to, let's see, do I have room down here? So I'm just going to kind of talk through the algebra problem. Remember, this is for 6.2. Sorry, I don't have it up here. I'm not sure why I didn't copy that page. So I have Rose and Julio Valdez paid a total of $32,133.64 for their new automobile. The state sales tax rate in their state is $5.95, and the city sales tax rate is 1.2%. Find the total sales price of the automobile the Valdez's purchased. So in this problem, we need to let the total selling price of the new automobile, instead of having to write that all out in the equation, we need to give it a variable. So P equals purchase price. And a lot of the time, you know, something simple like that where it's the first letter of what you're talking about is easy. I would stay away from O's because they look like zeros. So honestly, I would definitely stay away from O's. But, you know, other than that, you're kind of open to use whatever it is you want to use. All right, so we have, we basically have a little formula that we need to write out here. So we have two sales tax rates. We have 5.95. Sorry, this is writing a little sideways. Don't know why. Plus, there we go. It's a little less sideways. Plus the 1.2. So remember, this was, and these are percentages, and no, I have not moved the decimal. We need to move the decimal before we actually add them. So this was state sales tax, and this was city sales tax. And if we add them together, that'll give us our combined tax rate. We're going to need to multiply that by the purchase price because that was added into our total purchase price. And then we're going to need to add our purchase price to that. So remember, subtotal plus tax. We're doing the same thing on this one. Here's our subtotal, our purchase price, and then our tax is our tax rate times our subtotal. So we're just kind of doing it all in one step here. And that's going to equal, and I'm going to put it on this side just so it doesn't run into these words, the total cost, which they tell us is $32,133.64. So again, sorry, this isn't quite right in front of you where I can underline things and point it out to you. But definitely you should have the worksheet out in front of you, so you should be able to see all these numbers. So now we just need to simply start combining. And remember, when you do this, it's not 5.95. I'm going to grab the calculator again because I'm assuming most students are going to probably use the calculator for this. But if I put 9.95 and I put parentheses and then plus 1.2 and again hit percentage, it's going to multiply. So you have to be careful about that. Because it doesn't do this on my phone, but it does it on my computer. So it's one of those really funny things. I just wanted to point it out. It depends on the calculator you're using. So be careful about using the percent button 2 times in a row. Okay, so if we just kind of move it ourselves and we go like this, so 0.595. So again, I took this decimal and I just went 1, 2, and I moved it twice. Plus, I'm going to do plus sign, plus, and then again, move this decimal 1, 2. So it's going to be 0.012 equals, and there we go. So it's a more reasonable number. So, and you may not quite notice that necessarily if you multiplied, but it's definitely a way too small number when you hit that percentage sign twice. Again, doesn't do that on my phone, only on my computer. So kind of an odd difference there. So 32,133.64 equals, and this was, and I don't need the parentheses anymore because I've combined. So it's going to be 0.071 p plus p. Remember, this is 1. So this is 0.017 p, and this is plus 1 p. So it's purchase, purchase, or thing and thing. It's something and something. You just don't know what it is yet. But they're the same something. They're both the same purchase price. We just don't know what it is yet. So they're like terms. I can add them together. So I can simply go 32,133.64 equals 1.071 p. So I just added 1 on the front of here because it's 0 and 1. So remember, line up your decimals when you're doing that. Again, you can totally have the calculator up here and go plus 1, and there you go. And oh, it looks like I forgot to stick the 5 on here. That was silly of me. There's a 5 there. All right. So last step here, we just get to divide this because we're multiplying this decimal and the purchase price. We want to divide it to undo it. And this is the last step in our algebraic equation here. So once you divide, you will know what your purchase price is. So I'm going to let you guys finish that off instead of finishing that calculation for you. But all you have to do is do your division here and you will have your answer there. All right, I hope that helped, and I will see you in section 3.